Learn how to do your perfect squat in 5 minutes. These 4 tips help me make huge gains. Squats reign supreme when it comes to total body functional fitness, but you have to do it correctly or you'll be like this guy. Every day is leg day, literally. You squat getting out of bed, off the toilet, out of your car. So let's get into it. First, we need to set this up, so let's get our feet shoulder width apart. Everyone's anatomy is going to differ, and it's true that the length of your leg bones and your flexibility in your hips and ankles will determine what your squat will look like. First, try squatting without a weight from this position and pay attention to how deep you can squat. You can either widen your stance or turn your feet outward to find additional depth. If you find you have super tight ankles, try elevating your heels, where this actually mimics weightlifting shoes. You'll immediately notice that these small changes make a huge difference. Once you find a position, grab a light weight and hold it in front of you to test the squat. I like to focus on 3 points of contact through each of your feet. They make a triangle from your heel to your big toe and your little toe. This will ensure you have a solid platform. Your feet are the only point of contact with the ground. You can think of these as the roots of your tree. Without your feet firmly planted, you'll be toppling over like a flimsy tree in the wind. Always ensure your weight is centered through the middle of your foot. It's safe for knees to go over toes as long as you keep the weight centered. Don't go on your toes, and don't be on your heels either, with your toes lifting off the ground. Both could lead to injury. Second is racking the bar on your back. This is really important as this is where your contact is with the weight. Make sure you're always focused on keeping the bar resting on the meaty part of your trap. Don't rest it on your neck. I found that bringing my grip closer with elbows facing straight down allows for the most amount of tension through the upper back. I've also found that pulling the bar down onto my traps helps cue my body to stay tight and keep the whole back engaged. Staying engaged rolls nicely into the third point, which is proper bracing and tension. When you breathe in, make sure you're filling your entire belly with air and then holding it. Avoid only breathing into the chest. Here's the difference of what chest breathing looks like versus a full 360 breath down into the belly. Another way to think of this concept is a can of soda or beer. When it's filled, it can handle a tired 37-year-old man, no problem. When it's empty, it can't hold anything. You want to have adequate tension through the glutes and legs before you drop down for the squat. Now, as you initiate the movement, hold the breath until you hit the bottom of the squat, then control your exhale as you're moving upward. Again, I have a bonus tip at the end for those of you who have trouble activating your glutes, like myself. This brings us to our last point, which is body position throughout the squat. Make sure your knees are moving in the same direction as your toes, and don't allow your knees to cave in. You want your upper body angle staying consistent throughout the movement. This means you aren't clamshelling as you're descending down and not doing a stripper booty on the way up. The shoulders and hips should be moving up and down as a unit at the same rate. I found that starting out with a light weight so you can just get a feel for the squat is ideal. If you have a mirror available or you have someone to record you, even better. This way you'll get immediate feedback and make quick adjustments. You want to aim to make every weight look the same. If you can't, you're going too heavy. I found that coming down in a slow and controlled motion with even the tiniest pause at the bottom and then driving straight up, always keeping the bar over the center of your feet, keeps me the safest and gets the most amount of engagement throughout my body. Bonus tip, glute activation. For many of you out there who are really quad dominant like myself, I find it very difficult to keep the glutes totally engaged throughout the whole range of motion of the squat. First, I'll do single leg glute bridges where I make sure my hips stay square and I'll feel a nice contraction through the glute that's pushing down into the ground. Next, I'll do single leg extensions with a band against the rack, and I'll squeeze at the very end of the range so that my glute is fully contracted. Last, I'll use ankle bands to engage and turn on the outside part of my hip. I find this muscle group especially hard to turn on and target, so this movement helps quite a bit. If you like this sort of content, please hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. See you guys on the next one.